Thank you for that wonderful introduction. It is an amazing opportunity to be before you on this Black Business Network and the amazing things that you do. I am the founder of the Youth Life Center of the Arts in Riverdale, Georgia, where we are trailblazers in adolescent care. And so I'm going to spend a little time telling you what that means because it is a category unto itself. And we target laser focus on the adolescents between 5th and 8th grade. I call that the critical care unit, where we are losing them in record proportion, where they're just trying to gain autonomy, find their voice, discover what they're good at. And we need to create opportunities for them to do that. And at the Youth Life Center, that is exactly what we do. I have been the founder for over 14 years now. Just a little latchkey kid from Los Angeles. Didn't know what I wanted to do with my life until my mom asked me the question. She said, Risa, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said, if I could do anything, I would have a place where kids can come and they can be safe and they can dance and they can have fun. And welcome to my dream. The Youth Life Center is the manifestation, which shows you that if our kids just had the opportunity to dream, to imagine, to even be asked the question, it is amazing what we can unleash and unlock in them. And so at the Youth Life Center, it is my life's pursuit to challenge each young person to find their voice, discover what they're good at, and give them all kinds of innovative opportunities for them to express themselves. And there's no better platform to do that than the arts. I am convinced that it's in the arts that everyone can find their voice, because there's just a bit of the creator in all of us. It doesn't have to be the same, but there is something unique. We are all a one of a kind, unique designers, original. And I'm also convinced that if I could get a 4th, 5th, 6th grader to just discover who they are, how they're wired, and what they were naturally gifted to do, and align them with all of the tools and all of the mentorship and support that they need to cultivate it, the world would never be the same. We would have different conversations, and helping them to understand early on that you were born a business. And that thing inside of you is what is designed to make room to prosper you in the future. And they're not too young to do that. We can have youngpreneurs sprouting up everywhere. And so at the Youth Life Center, that is our pursuit. And why is it important? It's important to target that population because the bottom of care falls out when you get to be 11, 10. We are, a lot of times people think we're like a child care center. Child care centers have their place, but there's a certain time when the child care environment is just not the space for an adolescent who is really, you know how they are, them tweens and them teens that know everything, but they don't, you know, who don't want to listen, and all of the challenges when they're just trying to figure life out. And oftentimes they're doing it alone. I was a latchkey kid. My mom had to go to work. I'm serving in Georgia, but I'm just a little chocolate girl from South Central. And my mom had to go to work. And so I was left to home alone. You better be in before the street lights come on, and you better not let nobody in your house. And if you did, the neighbor down the street was gonna let her know. Unfortunately, our communities are not built like that anymore. And so our kids are left home alone with the world in the palm of their hands. If they have a cell phone, they have access to the world and no way are anyone navigating them in it. And so they're left to their own devices. All the questions that they have, Google, Alexa, whoever they have on their device, they'll answer you when you ain't even talking to them. How about that? So if the information is at their fingertips, I'm just convinced that if they have a place to go where we can navigate them, they're at a space where they don't need dictation. They need navigation and opportunities to explore and in a safe environment, in an environment where they're free to be able to express themselves. We oftentimes say in our space is not the what, because what you have to say is important. And what they have to say adds value. Sometimes out of the mouth of babes, we might not want to hear it, and it's truth, but it's not about the what, it's the how. So in this space, it's teaching them how to get your point across, how to communicate, how to build those soft skills, those life skills that home ec is no longer in school. Okay, I'm not gonna be dating myself. Listen, we had home ec and they taught us some things, your way around the kitchen, your way, they taught us some things that the kids are not getting anymore. So at the Youth Life Center, we're really getting back to the basics. Because one thing that we're convinced of, it doesn't matter how talented you are, if your character can't keep you where your talent takes you, then it's a waste. So character is very important. But we also know that if we come, look, a 10, 15-year-old, oh, you're gonna learn character, you're gonna confidence, oh, y'all, they're not trying to hear that. So we want to give them something that attracts and appeals to what their interests are. Because once you tweak their interests, it creates the buy-in that they need. And then you infuse all of the life skills, all of the character building components that will allow them to not only make it, but be able to maintain and thrive in the space that they have done the work to get in. We all know that a lot of times success is delayed, but in a world that is just instant, sometimes they think that there's no processes to go to because things happen so quickly. But one thing when it comes to the arts and what we do at the Youth Life Center, a production-based organization that allows different parts of a production to come together, children learn how to work as a team. They learn the lights matter, the props matter, the script matter. Every aspect that it takes to put it together matters, and they have to do it all. So they learn the value of team and communication. So arts is that not only is music a universal language, but the way that we introduce the arts, it allows them to learn the skills that it takes to be successful in areas of their lives: organization, planning, budgeting. This year, the youth are rewriting fairy tales, fables. And in these fables, they're rewriting it, have to stay true to the essence of what the lesson of the fable is, but they have a budget. They have to do it from top to bottom. So how we infuse the life lessons in budgeting, listen, your mom has to budget too. All you have is X amount of dollars. And in those X amount of dollars, this is all that you got to do. So we bring in the life lessons of understanding this is everything that you need to get what you want done. This is how your home works. And so we are able to have life lessons that they can see and have a parallel. And it allows them to bring what they learn from school to life and see the relevance thereof. Another reason why it's important to reach this population is because we're continuing to build educationally on broken pieces. We can't build on broken pieces. Academically, our children, the youth, the adolescents, that specifically that targeted population, 5th through 8th grade, the survivors of us all from the pandemic, but more so with them when it comes to reading and math, because they were kind of forced to get back into the game and pick up where you left off, and we're building on broken pieces. So At the Youth Life Center, we want to level the playing field. I want to meet every child where they are. Because if you cannot add and subtract, you can't multiply and divide. But of course, our systems are not designed to go back. So we want to be the gap fillers and let their self-esteem be built. We have a pilot group that we're doing just that. And when I tell you that when kids get the confidence that they need and understand that they're not, their grade are not what people say they are, and I told my team, don't tell me another time that a child can't read. They may not know how, and that's our job to teach them. But the minute you tell a child what they cannot do, it sends something to their psyche and they will struggle. They will believe. Those are the self-limiting beliefs and then the beliefs that we have cast on them. So don't tell them they can't. They don't know how. The only thing I want to know is that you want to. Because if you want to, at the Youth Life Center, we will help you. And so that, and a lot of times when they get in the school space, their peers, pressure, feeling bad about not knowing what they should know. And we have to stop casting blame and just fix the problem. Find out where they are. Stop building on broken pieces. Meet them where they are and build from there. Because once you get it, you got it for the rest of your life. And then if we can make it fun and infuse it, and then they can connect it with a real life, listen, I'm not struggling with kids to do work because they can see the relevance in it and they can see the benefit of their hard work. If you haven't figured it out yet, this is my oxygen and this is what I was born to do. And I love to do it and do it with all of my heart. I know that when I was growing up in South Central, in middle school, I just wanted a safe place to be. As we know, the world and in its ever-changing space, we know that things and problems are happening with kids, and younger kids are doing things now that was never thought of. And they just need safe spaces where they can find their voice and discover what they're good at. And I am just so proud that we have been able to impact so many people. But I've also come to the understanding that it doesn't matter how much that we empower our children, speak life to them. I'm on a team. I am Team Mama Risa. Team Mama Risa, and have a wonderful network of people that support. Can't do this by myself. So I have a great team that supports. But I also have parents. We also villainize our parents. Parents, they don't and they won't, they can't. Listen, let's stop attacking people. Let's meet them where they are, because our parents are people too. Our parents are people too. And they were a person before they were a parent. And sometimes they're doing the best that they can with what they have and what they know. And so the benefit of being connected in this space, we are a professional organization with a family feel. We are team family. So when you come to the Youth Life Center, when you come to the Youth Life Center, we are a part of your team. And I want to see everybody win. And what I realize is, listen, we're not doing the children without the parents. Because I want to teach them how to dream. Blow the dust off of your dream. You were a person before you were a parent. What did you want to be when you grew up? And so the Parents Are People Network is how we begin to allow the parent just to breathe again, believe again. Because when you start believing and dreaming and remembering and start putting things in motion and your children see you win, that'll encourage them to win as well. Sometimes we often get distracted by the vicissitudes of life that is encroaching on all of us. We have to build our own communities of support. And so we encourage our parents to consider becoming a part in a space that will challenge you, because they too were born a business. We have what we called becoming the CEO of your life. And that's just what we use as a platform to inspire our parents to realize your home is a business. And anything that is not functioning, it's only because your standard operating procedures is just not in place. And if you would allow all of the professionals to come together and we work together to put that back together again and help in the communication, finance, or whatever that looks like, you can realize your best life for the rest of your life. So I just wanted to say it is just absolutely a space where we need to build our own communities of support. We have to look at this critical care population, the adolescents. Adolescents. And I'm sure you remember what that was like back in the day. I could not imagine being a tween or a teenager growing up now in the underserved communities. And quiet as it's kept, no one is exempt of the challenges that come with access that we haven't had before. Our youth are hollering for help. They don't really want to know, and it's been said many times before, how much you know until they know how much you care. So Mama Risa is what you get, because a lot of our children and our parents have not been mothered. And so I wear that crown with the conviction to serve faithfully and meet each family at their point of need. And I can't do it alone. So I'm in this space, not to just bring exposure on the Youth Life Center, that you can go to our website at www.youthlifecenter.org and take a closer look at what we're doing in this space. You can also get involved. Listen, we can't do it by ourselves. We're a nonprofit organization, and we count on the generous donations of people. Georgia Gives Day Tuesday is coming up. We hope that you choose to support what we're doing in the South Side. In Riverdale, I said I'll bring a little Hollywood to the South Side, down in the Dale. But we solicit your support for a child, for the center, so that we can expand. To be able to expose our children to more opportunities, everything from culinary arts to martial arts and everything in between, fine arts, whatever their hearts desire. You could get involved just by going to our website and making a donation, volunteering, connecting. More than that, solicit your prayers, because you know this population is not easy to work with. You got to have something about yourself to work with this population. And a lot of people, this is a very important point. A lot of people leave them to their own devices because, oh God, their attitude, they just, this is not the time to take your hands off. Like I said, they don't need dictation, just navigation. They're just trying to find their way, just like you and I had to find our ways. How many people came along on your journey? Do you remember that voice, that one word, that person that encouraged you when you thought you weren't going to make it, even when you gave up, helped you get back on your feet? They're no different. And so they need you. We need you to support so that we can continue to do what we do in excellence. I'm just super excited about the future of the Youth Life Center as we are looking into expanding to provide training, job readiness for our youth so that they can be able to be competitive in current job market. But moreover, in the job market, not only were we all born a business, I want to spark the entrepreneur spirit inside each one of them because we all have a gift that just needs to be cultivated. So if we can spark that thing, the Black Business Network, show them how people do what they do and what's in them and pull it out and market it, promote it, support it. Listen, we'll be raising up some giants, independent, self-reliant, supporting communities, building communities. There's no limits. If we can believe it, if we can see it, if we can think it, we can achieve it. And we have to do it together. I am Clarissa Williams, also known as Mama Risa, also known as the mover, the shaker, the great motivator. And I'm here to do just that, fulfill my purpose on this journey called life. And I'm so glad that you have shared this moment and have peeked into this vision and hope that you would align with our mission and support us. Visit www.youthlifecenter.org.